The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. All summer the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. Young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry.
Hello, welcome to Spencer County Community Foundation's program called Hollywood Comes to Spencer County. I'm Amy Cox, your host, and today I'm going to introduce you to a young man who became a local celebrity when he starred in the Hollywood blockbuster movie The Kentuckian with Burt Lancaster in Spencer County in the Lincoln Pioneer home. So this is George Grose, and when George was about 12 years old, is that right, George?
That's right.
You had an unusual opportunity.
Right.
It was 1954.
Right.
And you and your brothers were taking part in the Rockport celebration.
Right.
Rockport is the town that was 100 years old at that point.
Right.
And you and your brothers were participating in the parade.
Right.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, we had a moonshine wagon, and my brother's in the back. You know, looked like he's about half loaded. And my mom driving the moonshine wagon, and Kenny and I were in the back of the wagon, walking, guarding the moonshine.
So that was your float in the
that was our
Rockport
float,
parade.
yes.
And then you entered the same float in the parade that went over the Blue Bridge. The Blue Bridge is the bridge that connects the Indiana side of the Ohio River to Owensboro, Kentucky.
Right.
And at that point, the big event was there was no more tolls being charged on the bridge.
Freed it.
They freed it, as you say. So they had a parade for that,
Right.
and you entered your float in that with your brothers.
Right.
So as you crossed the bridge, tell me about being contacted by the Hollywood Talent Scout.
We were somewhere in Owensboro after we went across the bridge, and somebody approached us and said, would you people like to have a job? Yeah, we wanted a job. And he said, they're looking for people like you to play in this movie. And they told us where to go put our application in, and we did.
Now, what did your mother say about you being approached by someone and being asked for a job in a movie? Did she want you to do that?
Well, she pushed us. She did want us the job.
And you showed up the next day?
Whenever it was, we showed up, and she made us go real early, and we was the first one in line.
First one in line.
Yeah.
And what did they say when you walked through the door?
When I walked in the door, they put a tape on me and measured me and looked at my curly hair, and they said, "This is a boy right here."
And so you were cast.
Asked me to go to work the next day.
Oh my!
The next day, and I said, "Yeah." So the next day, we went to about a mile from the Blue Bridge, upriver, on the Indiana side.
And what was your first day filming in the Kentuckian like?
The first day, man, I didn't know what was going on with all these people, and I had to get on the little flatboat and stand there, and they said, "George, you're going to be a stand-in for Donald McDonald."
Right.
So I got to work every day.
Now, The Kentuckian was filmed in 1954. A large part of it was filmed there in the Rockport Pioneer Village.
Right.
And some of it in the fairgrounds in front of what was the grandstand then.
That was the studio out
there.
Out there at the fairground.
And this was a movie that starred Burt Lancaster,
Right.
and he also directed it along with Harold Heck.
Right.
And some of the other big stars at the time were Walter Matthau, John Carradine, John McIntyre.
Right.
And who were the female stars at the time?
Diana Lynn and Diana Foster. And I can't remember the older lady, but them two was real, they were uptight.
They were big-time stars.
Yes.
Now, your role was to be the stand-in for the child actor.
Right.
Who was?
I was the stand-in for the boy, and then they had other stand-ins for each one of them.
Yeah.
And a stand-in, he just stands in front of them cameras until they get the lighting, and they put a meter on your cheek, they put a meter down here on your clothes to get it just right. And it takes a while to do that, and it's hot. And then while I'm doing this, the stars is back somewhere else going through their script, getting ready for the shot.
Yep.
So when we get done, they take over.
They come in. Now, the story of the Kentuckian is the part Burt Lancaster played was a gentleman who had a son who Donald McDonald played,
Right.
and that's the one you doubled. And it's their story of the adventures they have going through Kentucky on their way to Texas to get land. And all the adventures they have and some of the nasty villains they meet. And one of the bad villains was played by
Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau.
He was Bodine.
Was he? And Bodine was a bad guy.
He was a bully of the village.
Yep.
He just started all up.
Now, his character didn't carry a gun, though. He was known because he carried a whip, did he not?
Yes. Yeah, he had an old bullwhip. Yeah.
And there was a double or a stand-in for him during the whip scenes.
Right. Whip Wilson.
And so you got
From Hollywood.
From Hollywood. Everything came from Hollywood.
Everything, even the fox.
Well, we're going to talk about some of those stories because he has some great stories. Let's talk about after the opening scene of doing the flatboat crossing the river, there was another scene where Burt Lancaster and his son, Donald McDonald, were in the woods, and he had to run quickly across what was a river. And tell us how Hollywood did that.
Hollywood, they stretched up. You can see him running across the river, or across the big canal, whatever it is, and he's running just level, and they stretch chicken wire across there real tight for him to run on.
Oh,
that's the way they done that.
And that's so he runs on that.
He runs on that chicken wire. Yep.
Well, many of the scenes were filmed right there in the Lincoln Pioneer Village. How did Burt Lancaster even come to find out about Rockport, Indiana?
Well, he was a trapeze, and he come to the Rockport Fair and performed.
Well, he was a trapeze artist.
Right, he was a catcher.
Yeah.
He was tough. He was real tough. Okay, yeah. And while he was here, this is what was told to me from some of the town folks that he talked to. He toured the Pioneer Village, and he said, "If I get into the movie business, I'll be back."
Wow.
To make a movie. He liked the setting.
So much.
He liked it.
And there was a time when they were filming some of the scenes in the Pioneer Village. They did most of the outdoor town scenes there, did they not? And then, the fight. There's one scene in the Kentuckian where the young boy gets in a fight and
Right.
he gets whipped. But
Right.
that's really you as a double, isn't it?
It's me that doing the falling. They showed me how to fall and everything like that, and dive after him, But I was, in the movie, it looks like him.
Yeah.
They had us all. We look like twins.
Did you get along with Donald McDonald, the star, the
Yes,
little
I
actor?
did.
Did he? Was he a nice young
We
man?
become real close.
Did he?
Went to school with his tutor in a little trailer, and we become real good. And they get you'd hear that bullhorn. We'd be in the school or something, hear that bullhorn, George on the set, and whoever else they needed on the set, you'd hear that, and I'd get up, and he'd get up, and he'd go and go through his script.
Yeah.
Script. Yeah.
Now, at this time, George, you were living in the country with 3 brothers and a sister?
4 brothers.
4 brothers and a sister.
4 brothers, and my dad and mom, and my sister.
And you lived on a dairy farm?
Yes.
So who had the job of milking the cows?
Anybody can milk.
Is that
Mom
right?
seen to that.
Even when you were working on the movie set?
Right.
Oh, my.
And going to school, you milk cows before you go to school, and you milk cows when you get home. That's how she made the living. That's how we made the living.
And so were your brothers in the film as well? Were they cast?
Yes.
Were they just extras?
They were regulars. They got right up in there. They done good.
And what was one of the reasons you were telling me about that they got cast? From having growing their beards?
From Rockport Centennial.
Yeah.
that 100 years, they let their beard grow, and we heard that there's going to be a movie coming down, so they left all them beards on, and we heard it's going to be called Gabriel Horn.
Yeah.
so we was getting ready for that if they'd ever come.
Now, as you mentioned that, the original story was called Gabriel's Horn, but it was changed to call The Kentuckian, which is what we all know it as when we watch it on TV and in the theater.
Right.
And that's actually a movie prop. That was used in the movie.
Right, right.
And Burt Lancaster blew that?
Right.
Why would his character
George.
use that? Oh. And so in the movie, his character did that to call his dog?
They call the dogs in from fox hunting. That's what they used the horn for. Yes.
And I remember you telling me that as a young boy you were impressed with the dog that was on the set.
Oh, gosh, that dog was smarter than George. And he took all his commands behind the camera from the trainer, and that trainer talked to that dog with his fingers.
Yeah.
With his fingers. And I mean, make him do anything. And he was a good dog.
And there was another animal that they brought from Hollywood, a fox. Tell us about how they used the fox.
They brought the fox in, a little bitty old cage. And he was a gentle little old fox. And everybody thought, well, when they turned that fox loose, he's gone. So they took his cage, took him out of the cage, and tied a little fine wire inside of the cage, stretched it about 100 feet or whatever it was, and had a little collar on him. They stuck it through his collar and set him down to stretch that wire. When they got ready to holler action, that little fox took off, and the dog behind him, oof, 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 and he went right in the cage. Shut the cage and said, send him back to Hollywood.
That was it. That was his 15 seconds of fame. So tell us about the filming in the Lincoln Pioneer Village. What buildings did they use?
The what now?
The Pioneer Village, when they filmed in the Pioneer Village.
Yeah.
Did they not construct a building there?
Yes, the tobacco warehouse. Uncle Zach's. Uncle Zach had money.
Yeah.
About like Bodine.
In the film.
Right.
So they had to build that.
They built that before the movie got here, before the people got here.
And it's still there in the Pioneer Village
It's still
today.
there. Yes. Yes.
And was there a time when they were filming and there was noise from somebody building a house?
Yeah, they was out there in the middle of the fairground in the Pioneer Village, and boy, here them hammers are hammering, you know. and Lancaster got real aggravated, okay, and he finally said, send somebody over and give them a week's pay and send them home. There wasn't no more hammering.
Oh, they got the roof built and they got their scene set.
Yeah.
So when they were filming in the Pioneer Village, did they get to go in the cabins and film in the cabins?
No. Everything was on the outside of the cabins, and that's why they built that tent. That was their studio out kind of in the middle of the racetrack at that time, and each stall in there had like 3 sides. Uncle Zach's house and the schoolhouse, and each one of them. And then they had the one like this that was upstairs in the cabin. It had the banister going down.
Yeah.
Each one of them, and they looked just as real. And
so they would take an actor to the scene where he opens the door and then cut and then go to the inside.
right. When they open the door on the cabin on the outside, when they go through, then it's inside that tent, that studio, and it's all inside. Yeah,
Now, you weren't only George's double, but you were in a couple of scenes as a bystander yourself, weren't you? Isn't there a scene at the school where you got to ring the school bell?
Yes. You can hear the bell ringing, and they're walking to school, and Donald McDonald had a black eye, a little Eli, and they bring him to school, Big Eli, I believe.
And that would be Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, and Burt Lancaster, and brought him to school, and you hear that bell ringing, and when they get up there, the old George is out there ringing that bell, and she said, and the school teacher's there, and she says, "Thank you, Tommy," and I go back at school.
You didn't get a line, but you got a nod. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, some of the scenes you were telling me earlier about, you had to play the rough and tumble parts. At one scene in the movie, both Burt Lancaster and Donald McDonald, their characters get thrown off a riverboat.
Yes.
And you were the one getting thrown off.
Right.
Tell us about that.
All right. He supposed to won some money or something. He had a bag of money, and on the boat This was inside the armory of Owensboro. The inside of the boat was, and then heard the whistle blow on the boat, and Rockport was coming up. They got another name for it in the movie. So he says, I got to go, and so whatever. So they go out the door, and then the gamblers chase him, and they chase him up the banisters, you know, and they got them banisters where they break and all that.
Yeah.
And he kicks them down, hit them over the head with the money and all that stuff. Gets to the top, and he grabs the dog and throws him overboard. And he grabs the boy.
That'd be you.
And, yeah. And
then he goes in?
And then he jumps.
Oh, good Lord. Did you have to get thrown in the river?
Yep.
Yep. And then you were telling me there was a scene that they wanted to shoot of Burt Lancaster and Donald McDonald swimming in the clear water, and that was after they had filmed the river scene.
Right.
But
right.
they didn't film it in the river, did they?
No, they must have forgot. They must have forgot.
They must have forgot that.
Yeah.
So where did they film that scene?
Boy, this is October. It's about the last scene they done. This is October, and they filled that swimming pool in the sports center, at the sports center. Filled it full of water, and we had to jump in there. Man, that was cold.
That was cold for one scene.
It had everything except ice. Whew, it was cold.
So did you get along well with Donald McDonald, the
God,
young actor?
yes.
Did you?
Yes.
He had a birthday, didn't he?
Had a birthday.
Tell me about that.
And I got invited to the birthday.
And where was it held? Where was the party held?
This was over at Owensboro at the hotel.
The Owensboro Hotel. then.
Owensboro Hotel.
Okay.
And one of my brothers got me over there, and I went up whatever floor it was, and man, all the stars was there and all that. Man,
That was a big time.
and a boy like George was there.
Oh, country boy. Now, when you would go to work, because you did 3 months every day, go to work on the set, did you not?
Yes.
So that's why you had to have a tutor, because you should have been in school.
Yeah, right. I had to have a tutor. Yeah.
And how'd you get to the set some days? You were telling me you got a special ride.
Oh, if we was after a while, it had about 3 of them charter buses to haul the people from one location to another, and I was riding on that bus. Well, finally, Donald McDonald says, "Oh, George, I want George to ride with me."
Wow.
So I rode in the limo
You got star treatment.
with Donald McDonald and
Yep.
sometimes his mom, and in the front seat was Walter Matthau.
Wow.
I was in high cotton.
Was he a nice actor to work with? Was he a nice gentleman to work with?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was Burt Lancaster like to
He
work
was
with
rough
him?
and tough, but he was good.
Was he?
He was good. He's good. I mean, he wanted it down pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He was good.
You know, he has that charisma on film that he's this very, very stern and rough guy, as you say. But
Well, he's come off them trapeze.
yeah, but he was gentle with
Yeah,
directing the kids.
Yes, he was. You know, Walter's first movie was the Kentuckian.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, there's a scene where Walter Matthau, the bad guy, Bodine, takes his whip and he starts to try to put out a series of candles to show
Yes,
how good he is.
in the saloon.
Yeah. Tell us about that
Had
scene.
them candles lined up. And Bodine would act like he's cracking a whip, but when it showed the candles going out, it was Whip Wilson.
Oh, so he had a stand in.
Yes, and in that show there, they were having like a contest between Whip Wilson and Bodine, but Whip Wilson done the
cracking of the whip.
he done the with the whip.
And there was another scene where somebody was drinking out of a jug and Bodine is supposed to crack the whip.
My mama was a gator and my pappy was a bar. I can whip my way to Wildcat and drink my belly full. Had that jug up there like that, and man, Whip Wilson hit that jug and took it right on out.
Took it right out.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was great, man.
So there were a lot of other people in the Rockport area that were working on the set. There were Charlie Chin and Kay Wright.
Yes, they sung some songs in there.
Yep.
Quartet or whatever.
Gus Schulte and Robert Fay.
Robert Fay, yeah.
And then I understand there was a theater at that point, the Rio Theatre in Rockport on Main Street.
Right.
And they would view the rushes. Burt Lancaster and his production crew would every day go in and go into the theater and watch what they had filmed. Mm-hmm. And was there a crowd outside waiting for them to go in?
I really don't know. I wasn't there.
Oh,
I wasn't there, but if that's where they went, that's where they went. I wasn't there.
Caused a stir in town, did it not?
But the people would be looking through the logs and everything else out there to Pioneer Valley just to see somebody.
Could they come and stand around and watch the filming?
They had to stay outside the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. And they holler on that bullhorn. We're going to take attack. Everybody quiet.
Yeah.
And everybody had to just freeze.
So what was it like? I mean, you had never done anything like this before. Did you enjoy it?
After the first day, I enjoyed it.
After you got off the river, flatboat coming across the river, you liked it, huh?
Yeah.
And you got used to it?
Clean clothes every morning.
And they fed everyone?
And a hot lunch every day.
And then every day you told me they would line the extras up and you got paid in cash, so everybody...
Yeah. And some of the people, they wouldn't need them the next day or the next week or something. I guess that's why they paid us every day.
Mm-hmm. To keep track.
Yeah.
And you kept in correspondence. You wrote letters to Donald McDonald after the movie.
Yes. I received letters from him and storybooks, and I'd write him back. My gosh.
That was something.
Yes.
So when the movie came out in 1955 and the Kentuckian it came to the Rio Theatre. Did you go see it?
Did I go see it? They couldn't get rid of me. I've seen it about 4 times.
4 times in a row?
Yeah.
And it was a big hit there in Rockport, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. To think they had a whole film there the whole time.
Yes.
That's amazing that Hollywood came that far and all those people.
Yeah.
And at the end, you told me a story that your mom asked to use some of the money that you and your brother had earned.
Right.
Because you guys were living out in the country.
Yes.
And what'd she do with that?
We was all living out there where she was born.
Yeah.
In that house. And she said, George, I'd like to have some of your money.
What's she going to do with
so
it?
Hard.
Make some home improvements, isn't she?
And I'll take some of Kenny's.
Yep.
And she said, I'm going to put the electricity in the house.
She put in indoor plumbing and electricity.
And the toilet.
There you go.
In the house. And
Well,
I still use some of that today.
There, I see your hard work paid off even today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great story. I love that. So do you watch the movie often? Do you look it up? Because it's on TV a lot.
I watch it on the Western Channel.
Yeah.
On the Western Channel is where I watch it, yeah.
That's fabulous. Do you often think back to that time?
Oh, God, every time I look at it.
Do you?
Yeah.
You have some great... And to think that your brothers and family were in it, too.
Right.
And lots of friends.
They had good parts in it, too. They had good parts.
Well, it put Rockport on the map, that's for
God.
sure.
Yes.
Well, we thank you so much for coming and talking to us today about your time with the Kentuckian.
You're welcome.
So you're a famous Hollywood actor right here in Spencer County.
I don't know about that.
What's your favorite memory of being in the Kentuckian? What do you think about the most?
I like Donald McDonald.
You liked your friendship
Yes.
with Donald. Well, that's wonderful. Well, we appreciate it, George. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. All summer the people are gay. The corn tops rise and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. Young folks roll on the